In a courtroom bombshell that has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, Michael B. Jordan took the stand at 9 a.m. on June 23, 2025, in the ongoing sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The Creed star's testimony painted a chilling picture of jealousy, power, and alleged criminal intent, claiming that during his brief 2015 romance with Cassie Ventura, while she was on a break from Diddy, the music mogul sent hitmen to kill him not once, but 5 times. Jordan's harrowing account of surviving these alleged assassination attempts, coupled with his fear of retaliation that kept him silent for a decade, has ignited a firestorm of controversy. As the trial, already steeped in allegations of abuse and coercion, takes a darker turn, questions swirl. How far would Diddy go to control those around him? This video delves into the jaw-dropping details of Jordan's testimony, the context of his romance with Cassie, and the implications for Diddy's crumbling empire. Jordan's testimony, delivered with a mix of resolve and vulnerability, captivated the Manhattan federal courthouse. He described a terrifying series of events in 2015, when he was an up-and-coming actor dating Cassie, then 28, during a pause in her tumultuous relationship with Diddy. "I was followed, threatened, and nearly attacked," Jordan told the jury, recounting incidents like a gunman approaching him in Miami and mysterious cars tailing him in Los Angeles. He claimed anonymous tips warned him of Diddy's involvement, but fear of the mogul's influence in music, film, and nightlife kept him from reporting to police. "I was scared for my life, my family," he admitted, his voice heavy with the weight of a decade's silence. The allegations escalate an already explosive trial, where Diddy faces charges of orchestrating freak-offs and coercive acts. Prosecutors argue Jordan's claims reveal a pattern of intimidation, while Diddy's defense dismisses them as unproven. Social media erupts with #Justice for Jordan, but skeptics demand evidence, questioning Jordan's timing. Hollywood is divided, with some stars quietly supporting Jordan and others wary of Diddy's lingering power. This video will unravel the romance, the threats, and the cultural reckoning, probing whether Diddy's empire will fall or if his influence will endure despite these shocking revelations. On the morning of June 23, 2025, the Manhattan federal courthouse buzzed with electric anticipation as Michael B. Jordan, one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, stepped into the witness box. Dressed in a sharply tailored suit, the Creed actor's demeanor was somber yet resolute, his presence commanding silence in the packed courtroom. Jordan's testimony, part of the ongoing sex trafficking and racketeering trial against Sean Diddy Combs, unleashed a bombshell that left jaws on the floor. He revealed that in 2015, while filming in South Africa, he began a flirtatious romance with Cassie Ventura, who was then on a break from her volatile relationship with Diddy. "It was casual, respectful, and mutual," Jordan stated, emphasizing their connection was an open secret in industry circles, sparked by mutual friends and shared projects. Then came the chilling revelation. Diddy, allegedly consumed by jealousy, orchestrated 5 separate attempts on Jordan's life. "I got anonymous tips, warnings to watch my back," Jordan recounted, his voice steady but heavy with emotion. He described harrowing incidents, strange cars tailing him in Los Angeles, a near-violent encounter in a Miami nightclub where a man approached with a gun but fled, and cryptic threats hinting at Diddy's involvement. The courtroom gasped as Jordan detailed living in constant fear, unable to trust his surroundings or confide in others. "I felt like a target," he said, admitting his silence stemmed from Diddy's rumored influence across music, film, and nightlife, coupled with the threat of deadly retaliation against him or his family. Jordan's decision to stay quiet for a decade, he explained, was a survival tactic against a mogul whose power seemed untouchable. This testimony, if substantiated, could redefine the trial, shifting its focus from allegations of sex trafficking and coercion to the specter of attempted murder. Prosecutors seized on Jordan's claims, arguing they demonstrate Diddy's pattern of control through intimidation, a cornerstone of their case. Diddy's defense team, led by Xavier Donaldson, countered fiercely, dismissing Jordan's account as unsubstantiated hearsay, and demanding concrete evidence, phone records, police reports, or witnesses, to back the explosive allegations. As the trial unfolds, Jordan's words have ignited a firestorm, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown that could unravel Diddy's empire or expose the limits of unproven claims in a court of law. The backdrop to Michael B. Jordan's explosive claims in the Sean Diddy Combs trial is his short-lived romance with Cassie Ventura in 2015, a period when her on-again, off-again relationship with Diddy was reportedly on pause. Cassie, then 28, was filming Honey 3, Dare to Dance in South Africa, immersing herself in a project that offered a temporary escape from her tumultuous personal life. Jordan, fresh off his breakout role in Fruitvale Station and on the cusp of global stardom, was also in the region, working on a film. According to Jordan's testimony on June 23, 2025, their mutual stylist, Deontay Nash, played matchmaker, introducing the two at a Cape Town event. What began as a casual connection soon blossomed into what Jordan described as dating, talking, and getting to know each other. A flirtatious but respectful bond that felt natural amidst their shared Hollywood ambitions. Court records corroborate this account, with Nash testifying on May 29, 2025, that he facilitated their connection after Cassie confided in him about Diddy's infidelity. She was hurt, humiliated, Nash said, explaining that Cassie learned Diddy was seeing another woman during their break, prompting her to explore a new romance. Nash described Cassie as seeking solace in Jordan's grounded charm, a stark contrast to Diddy's domineering presence. The romance, though brief, spanning only a few weeks, was significant enough to provoke Diddy's ire. Text messages presented in court revealed Diddy confronting Cassie about Jordan, with one message reading, "You think you can play me with that kid?" The tone, prosecutors argued, betrayed Diddy's possessiveness, even during their supposed break. Jordan testified that their fling ended amicably, with both agreeing to part ways as their schedules diverged. Yet, the fallout was far from peaceful. "I didn't know the depth of his obsession until the threats started," Jordan told the jury, suggesting Diddy viewed the romance as a personal betrayal. The public is left grappling with unsettling questions. Was Jordan merely collateral damage in Diddy's feud with Cassie, or did his brief connection with her threaten the mogul's ego in ways that unleashed a dangerous vendetta? As the trial probes these dynamics, Cassie's choices and Diddy's reactions reveal a tangled web of love, power, and retribution that continues to captivate and horrify observers. The most sensational aspect of Michael B. Jordan's testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial was his chilling claim that Diddy sent hitmen to kill him 5 times in 2015. Each attempt was different, but the intent was clear, Jordan told the jury on June 23, 2025, his voice steady yet tinged with raw emotion. The Manhattan Federal Courthouse fell silent as he recounted a series of terrifying incidents that began shortly after his brief romance with Cassie Ventura. Jordan described being tailed by suspicious vehicles in Los Angeles, their tinted windows and erratic movements raising his alarm. In another instance, at a Miami nightclub, an armed man approached him, gun visible, only to retreat when spotted by Jordan's security. "I couldn't prove it was Diddy, but the timing wasn't coincidence," Jordan said, noting anonymous warnings from industry insiders that pointed to the mogul's jealousy-fueled rage. Among the most haunting moments was a late-night phone call from an unknown number. "Stop messing with her, or you're done," the voice warned, a threat Jordan linked to his fling with Cassie during her break from Diddy. He detailed 2 other incidents, a near hit-and-run in Atlanta and a confrontation in New York where a stranger hinted at orders to harm him. Prosecutors argue these align with Diddy's alleged pattern of using intimidation to control Cassie's inner circle, citing her testimony about similar threats against others. This wasn't just jealousy, it was obsession, lead prosecutor Elena Martinez told the court, framing Jordan's ordeal as evidence of Diddy's dangerous reach. Diddy's defense team, led by Xavier Donaldson, branded the claims fantastical, demanding tangible proof, phone records, police reports, or eyewitnesses. "These are stories, not facts," Donaldson argued, highlighting Jordan's admission that he never reported the incidents. Jordan countered that fear for his life and career silenced him. Diddy's reach was everywhere. Music, film, clubs, he said, describing the mogul's omnipresence as a young actor's worst nightmare. Skeptics on social media question the lack of documentation, with some calling Jordan's account opportunistic. Yet supporters argue his silence reflects the very power Diddy wielded, with #JusticeForJordan trending alongside debates over the mogul's influence. This section of the trial has thrust the case into true crime territory, captivating a global audience. Could Diddy, already facing charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, have orchestrated such brazen acts? Or are Jordan's claims an unprovable exaggeration in a high-stakes legal drama? As speculation rages on X and beyond, the absence of hard evidence keeps the mystery alive, ensuring this testimony remains the trial's most electrifying moment. Michael B. Jordan's decade-long silence about the alleged 2015 assassination attempts, which he claims were orchestrated by Sean Diddy Combs, has sparked heated debate in and out of the courtroom. During his June 23, 2025, testimony in Diddy's sex trafficking and racketeering trial, Jordan explained his reluctance to report the threats to law enforcement with stark candor. "I was a young black man in Hollywood, just starting out. Going against Diddy felt like career suicide, and maybe actual suicide." He painted a vivid picture of Diddy's omnipresence in the entertainment industry, from his dominance at Bad Boy Records to his influence in fashion, nightlife, and film. "You didn't cross him," Jordan said, citing whispered stories of others, producers, artists, and actors, who faced professional ruin or worse after clashing with the mogul. One chilling detail underscored his fear, a threat that referenced his mother's home address, making the danger feel painfully personal. Prosecutors seized on Jordan's account to highlight Diddy's alleged use of fear as a weapon to silence adversaries, drawing parallels to Cassie Ventura's testimony about enduring abuse to protect her career. Fear was his currency, prosecutor Elena Martinez argued, framing Jordan's silence as a rational response to Diddy's power. Yet Diddy's defense team, led by Xavier Donaldson, painted Jordan as an opportunist, suggesting he fabricated the hitmen story for publicity or to bolster Cassie's narrative. "Where's the proof of these hitmen?" Donaldson pressed, noting Jordan's thriving career post-2015, with blockbuster roles in Creed and Black Panther. Jordan countered that his success came despite the trauma, not because of it, describing sleepless nights and constant vigilance that haunted him for years. Public reaction is sharply divided. On X, supporters rally behind #Justice for Jordan, praising his courage for speaking out in a high-stakes trial. "It takes guts to face Diddy's machine," one user posted. Skeptics, however, question his timing, asking why he waited a decade, especially as Diddy faces mounting charges. "Convenient story now," another commented. This section of the trial's exposure of the psychological toll of living under such threats, paranoia, isolation, and the weight of silence, resonates deeply. It also highlights systemic barriers, particularly for young black men like Jordan in Hollywood, where challenging a titan like Diddy could derail dreams or endanger lives. Jordan's courage testimony fuels broader discussions about power dynamics in the entertainment industry, where fear of retaliation often outweighs the pursuit of justice. As the trial continues, his story challenges observers to consider, how many others stayed silent, and what does it take to break that silence cycle? Michael B. Jordan's testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial casts a glaring spotlight on Diddy's alleged obsession with controlling Cassie Ventura, even during their 2015 break. Cassie, the prosecution's star witness, testified on May 15, 2025, that Diddy suspected her of an affair with Jordan while she was filming Honey 3, Dare to Dance in South Africa. Court documents reveal Diddy inundated her with calls and texts, demanding to know her whereabouts and who she was with. One message read, "You out there acting single?" a tone prosecutors say betrayed his possessiveness. Jordan's account takes this jealousy to a darker level, claiming Diddy targeted him with 5 alleged assassination attempts to reassert dominance over Cassie, painting a picture of a mogul unable to tolerate her independence. Deontay Nash, the stylist who introduced Cassie and Jordan, corroborated this dynamic in his May 29, 2025, testimony. He recounted Cassie confiding that Diddy's actions were humiliating and threatened her career, as he leveraged his industry clout to monitor her. Prosecutors argue this pattern of control, through abuse, surveillance, and threats, forms the backbone of the sex trafficking and racketeering charges, illustrating Diddy's need to manipulate those around him in his orbit. This wasn't love, it was ownership, prosecutor Elena Martinez told the jury, linking Jordan's ordeal to Cassie's broader allegations of coercion and abuse. Diddy's defense, led by Xavier Donaldson, counters that his reactions were those of a hurt partner, not a criminal mastermind. They presented Cassie's post-breakup texts, where she expressed lingering affection for Diddy, to argue their relationship was consensual and complex. "This was a messy romance, not a conspiracy," Donaldson said, urging jurors to see Diddy as human, not a monster. The public remains gripped by this saga, with many on X viewing Jordan's claims as proof of Diddy's darker side, evidenced by hashtags like #DiddyExposed. Others question whether Cassie's relationships are being unfairly scrutinized to distract from Diddy's alleged crimes. This section of the trial delves into the toxic dynamics of Diddy and Cassie's bond, a relationship marked by power imbalances and alleged manipulation. Was Jordan's ordeal a byproduct of Diddy's feud with Cassie, or part of a larger, more sinister agenda to control her life? As the trial unfolds, these questions fuel a cultural reckoning about love, power, and accountability in Hollywood's elite circles. Michael B. Jordan's June 23, 2025, testimony injects a chilling new dimension into the already explosive trial of Sean Diddy Combs, who faces charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. The case, launched in May 2025 in Manhattan's federal courthouse, centers on allegations that Diddy orchestrated freak-offs, drug-fueled sexual encounters involving coercion, blackmail, and manipulation, over decades. Cassie Ventura's 4-day testimony in May detailed a harrowing pattern of abuse, including a 2018 rape and repeated physical assaults, painting Diddy as a tyrant who wielded his empire to crush dissent. Other witnesses, including former Bad Boy employees and alleged victims, have echoed this, describing Diddy as a controlling figure who used wealth, connections, and intimidation to silence adversaries and maintain his grip on power. Jordan's claims of 5 alleged assassination attempts in 2015, though not directly tied to the current charges, amplify the prosecution's narrative of Diddy as a dangerous power broker. "This is a man who stops at nothing to control his world," prosecutor Elena Martinez argued, linking Jordan's ordeal to Cassie's accounts of Diddy's obsessive tactics. Legal experts suggest Jordan's allegations could spark new investigations into attempted murder, but proving them without physical evidence, such as phone records or corroborating witnesses, poses a steep challenge. The statute of limitations for such crimes in some jurisdictions further complicates matters, potentially limiting prosecutorial options. Diddy's defense team, led by Xavier Donaldson, has aggressively sought to discredit witnesses, including Jordan, labeling them fame seekers or scorned ex-associates. "This trial is a parade of unverified stories," Donaldson told the jury, urging skepticism toward Jordan's lack of documented reports. The defense has also highlighted Cassie's past expressions of affection toward Diddy to muddy the narrative of abuse, framing their relationship as complex. The trial, expected to extend into July 2025, has already name-dropped celebrities like Britney Spears and Kid Cudi, whose alleged ties to Diddy's world have surfaced in testimony, but Jordan's account of surviving hitmen stands as the case's most shocking moment. Public fascination intensifies with each revelation, with X ablaze with hashtags like #DiddyExposed. The trial peels back the curtain on Diddy's glittering empire, exposing a web of alleged corruption and fear. Jordan's testimony, situated within this broader context, could reshape perceptions of Diddy's legacy, transforming him from a cultural icon into a disgraced figure. For jurors, the stakes are immense. Will these claims tip the scales toward conviction, or will the lack of hard evidence preserve Diddy's defense? As the case unfolds, it challenges society to confront the cost of unchecked power in Hollywood's elite circles. Michael B. Jordan's June 23, 2025, testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has unleashed a firestorm across social media and entertainment circles, polarizing fans and industry insiders alike. On X, hashtags like #JusticeForJordan and #DiddyDidIt trend relentlessly, with supporters lauding Jordan's bravery for confronting a titan like Diddy. Michael's speaking truth to power, one user posted, racking up thousands of likes and retweets. Fans of Jordan and Cassie Ventura view his claims of surviving 5 alleged assassination attempts in 2015 as validation of Cassie's abuse allegations, framing Diddy as a dangerous figure whose influence must be dismantled. "This is bigger than one man. It's about accountability," another X user wrote, sparking widespread agreement. Yet skepticism abounds. Critics question the absence of concrete evidence and Jordan's decade-long silence, with some accusing him of capitalizing on Diddy's legal woes. Why now, when Diddy's already down? A commenter asked, echoing sentiments that Jordan's timing feels opportunistic. Diddy's defenders, though fewer, remain vocal, calling the testimony a coordinated attack on his legacy. They're piling on to destroy a black icon, one supporter posted, highlighting racial undertones in the debate. The trial has become a cultural flashpoint, with talk shows, podcasts, and Reddit threads dissecting issues of race, power, and accountability in Hollywood. Within the industry, reactions are equally fractured. Some stars privately back Jordan, fearing their own past ties to Diddy, through parties, collaborations, or business deals, could surface under scrutiny. No one wants to be the next name dropped, an anonymous actor told Variety. Others stay silent, wary of Diddy's lingering influence despite his legal troubles. Industry insiders note Jordan's claims have sparked hushed conversations about Diddy's alleged strong-arm tactics. This isn't the first time we've heard stories like this, a producer confided anonymously, alluding to rumors of Diddy's coercive behavior in music and film circles. Yet public endorsements are rare, reflecting Hollywood's cautious navigation of a scandal that threatens to expose its complicity. Cassie's supporters see Jordan's testimony as a powerful corroboration of her claims, with #BelieveCassie trending alongside #JusticeForJordan. Conversely, Diddy's camp argues the trial is a witch hunt, amplifying unproven allegations to dismantle his empire. The polarized discourse underscores a broader reckoning. How does an industry built on power dynamics confront its role in protecting figures like Diddy? This section captures the raw, divided reactions, from X's viral debates to Hollywood's whispered fears, analyzing how Jordan's bombshell has fractured public opinion and forced a long-overdue confrontation with the entertainment world's darker truths. Proving Michael B. Jordan's allegations of 5 attempted murders orchestrated by Sean Diddy Combs in 2015 presents a formidable legal challenge in the ongoing sex trafficking and racketeering trial. During Jordan's June 23, 2025, testimony, prosecutors emphasized the credibility of his fear, citing his vivid accounts of being tailed, threatened, and nearly attacked. They bolstered this by referencing Cassie Ventura's testimony, which detailed Diddy's similar threats against Kid Cudi, suggesting a pattern of violent intimidation. Jordan's fear was real and reasonable, prosecutor Elena Martinez argued, framing his claims as evidence of Diddy's controlling nature. However, Diddy's defense team, led by Ana Estevao, ruthlessly exploited the lack of tangible evidence. "This is a story, not a case," Estevao declared, noting the absence of police reports, surveillance footage, or corroborating witnesses, urging jurors to dismiss Jordan's account as speculative. Legal experts highlight that without documentation, Jordan's testimony risks being classified as hearsay, inadmissible unless directly linked to the charged crimes of sex trafficking or racketeering. Prosecutors may leverage it to argue Diddy's character, painting him as a dangerous figure, but securing a conviction on these allegations would require new evidence, phone records, confessions from alleged hitmen, or forensic traces. Jordan's admission that he never reported the incidents, fearing for his life and career, complicates matters further. While he framed this as a rational response to Diddy's vast influence, the defense seized on it to question his credibility. If it was so serious, why no police contact? Estevao pressed. The statute of limitations adds another hurdle. In California, where some incidents allegedly occurred, attempted murder typically carries a 3-year limit, likely barring new charges unless exceptions apply, such as delayed discovery of evidence. New York's statute is similarly restrictive, dimming prospects for separate prosecution. Legal analysts suggest prosecutors might use Jordan's claims to sway jurors emotionally, reinforcing the narrative of Diddy's coercive empire, but the high bar for proving intent to kill remains daunting. This section examines the legal system's capacity to address such explosive allegations, weighing the prosecution's strategy of building a pattern against the defense's skepticism and the evidentiary gaps that threaten to undermine Jordan's bombshell. As the trial progresses, the question lingers: can compelling testimony alone shift the scales of justice, or will the absence of hard proof protect Diddy from these grave accusations? Michael B. Jordan's June 23, 2025, testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial offers a stark window into the psychological forces driving the allegations, namely, Diddy's alleged obsession with control and retribution. Psychologists suggest that jealousy, especially in high-stakes relationships like Diddy and Cassie Ventura's, can trigger extreme behaviors in individuals with immense power. When someone like Diddy perceives a threat to their status, it can manifest as paranoia or aggression, says Dr. Lisa Chen, a clinical psychologist. Jordan's claims that Diddy sent hitmen to target him 5 times in 2015, if true, reflect a mindset where eliminating rivals becomes a means to reassert dominance. Cassie's dual role as Diddy's partner and protege likely intensified his need to own her, even during their 2015 break, amplifying his reaction to her brief romance with Jordan. Dr. Chen explains that such behavior often stems from a fragile ego, where perceived betrayals, like Cassie's fling with Jordan, threaten a carefully curated image of control. Power amplifies these impulses, she notes, pointing to Diddy's vast influence in music, fashion, and nightlife as a catalyst for extreme measures. Jordan's account of being tailed, threatened, and nearly attacked suggests a calculated effort to intimidate, aligning with Cassie's testimony of Diddy's coercive tactics. Jordan's decade-long silence, driven by fear for his life and career, mirrors trauma responses where victims prioritize survival over confrontation. It's common to freeze when facing a powerful figure, Chen adds, validating Jordan's reluctance to report the alleged threats. Diddy's defense, led by Xavier Donaldson, counters that his actions were those of a passionate but flawed lover, not a criminal mastermind. They argue his reactions to Cassie's romances were emotional outbursts, not calculated plots, citing her affectionate texts post-breakup as evidence of a complex bond. Yet the trial's focus on freak-offs and coercion paints a broader pattern of manipulation, with Jordan's testimony as a potential piece of the puzzle. This section probes the psychological underpinnings of Diddy's alleged vendetta, drawing on expert insights to unpack why he might have targeted Jordan. Was it jealousy, a need for control, or both? As the trial unfolds, these dynamics shape a narrative of power and revenge, challenging jurors to discern whether Diddy's behavior crossed from emotional turmoil into criminal intent, and what that reveals about the psyche behind his empire. Michael B. Jordan's explosive testimony on June 23, 2025, in the Sean Diddy Combs trial could deliver the final blow to Diddy's once untouchable empire, already battered by lawsuits, arrests, and a tarnished legacy. If jurors believe Jordan's claims of surviving 5 alleged assassination attempts in 2015, Diddy's image as a cultural icon, forged through chart-topping hits, lavish parties, and philanthropy, may be irrevocably shattered. The trial's outcome could embolden other accusers, potentially igniting a #MeToo-style reckoning in hip-hop, where whispers of abuse and coercion have long lingered. A guilty verdict might dismantle Diddy's remaining influence, stripping him of the power that once silenced dissent across music, fashion, and nightlife. For Jordan, speaking out carries immense risk. His allegations against a titan like Diddy invite backlash from the mogul's loyalists, who label him an opportunist on X. Yet, his courage positions him as a hero for accountability, potentially reshaping his public persona from Hollywood heartthrob to industry reformer. Cassie Ventura's case gains crucial credibility through Jordan's testimony, validating her decade-long struggle against alleged abuse. Prosecutors hope his claims, even if not directly tied to new charges, sway jurors by cementing Diddy's image as a predator who used fear to control his world. This is about a pattern of power, prosecutor Elena Martinez argued, urging the jury to see Jordan's ordeal as part of Diddy's broader reign of intimidation. Diddy's defense, led by Xavier Donaldson, warns against a witch hunt, urging jurors to prioritize evidence over emotion. Stories aren't proof, Donaldson stressed, banking on the lack of documentation to preserve Diddy's defense. Beyond the courtroom, the trial exposes Hollywood's dark underbelly, where power shields the guilty and silences the fearful. It forces a reckoning with the industry's complicity in protecting figures like Diddy, whose alleged tactics were an open secret. As the trial nears its climax, expected to conclude by July 2025, the world watches. Will justice prevail, dismantling Diddy's empire, or will his influence endure despite the damning allegations? This section reflects on the stakes for all involved. from Diddy's crumbling legacy to Jordan's bold stand and Cassie's fight for vindication. It underscores a broader cultural shift toward confronting unchecked power, challenging society to decide whether accountability can triumph over fame and fear in the heart of Hollywood's elite circles.